Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have fun in the hurricane without Daddy.
Yay. No, I want you to come up with you every night.
I'll be home. I'll be home tonight.
Me.
I'll be home tonight. Oliver. What's happening?
A big storm coming.
What's happening in the house?
A big house got flood.
Do you think I'm crazy? I've done all this before.
I'm not afraid of water.
You're not afraid of it? You don't need to be afraid of it.
Oh.
We'll be okay.
Oh.
You just pray, Jesus,
Yeah.
don't let the water come in our house.
Oh.
Amen.
Yeah. And I come out of the house.
No,
Oh. What is it?
it's still moving this way.
Oh.
It's still in the ocean.
Oh. I want to see it in the ocean and use phone.
Maybe later.
Oh.
Bye, babe.
Bye, babe.
Bye.
Peace out, fam.
Peace out, fam.
All right, bye, Oliver. Peace out, fam.
Peace out, fam.
Peace out, fam.
Peace out.
That's weird. All right, love you, babe.
Love you.
Love you. All right, so I am headed off. What is it called? PYLC, I think. Potomac Ministers Leadership Conference. Yeah. So far, that's been the most annoying part about the storm is I cannot keep my lens from fogging up because it's so humid. We'll just have to deal with it, vlog. We've dealt with foggy or blurry footage, that's worse. All right, anyways, I'm on my way. So the hurricane is on its way. Since the last episode that I talked about it, it's changed a couple times. Put out the episode, this could be my last vlog ever. I was kind of joking. When I recorded that episode, the hurricane was gonna be coming right over us. Well, about a half hour, an hour or so after I recorded that episode, they updated and said, you know what, we're not even gonna get hit at all because it's moving, it's gonna go down south. As far as I know, and it's updated again, it's still going down south, but as it's slowed down, it's gotten wider and wider. So it's gone from 150 miles wide to like 325 miles wide. So even though it is going down, it's still gonna hit us because it's gonna come back up and it's just expanding. So I don't think it's gonna be as bad as it was gonna be because it was gonna go right over us, and now we're getting caught at the end of it. But I don't really anticipate, like, I'm almost positive we're gonna have a couple feet, sorry, I got distracted. A neighbor that never waves to me waved to me. I'm almost positive that a lot of this area is, I don't know about us because we're kind of in a better grid area, but that a lot of people are gonna lose power because we're at like 300% of our rainfall already, so the ground is saturated. So I'm almost positive that like a lot of everyone is going to lose power because trees will be down. It doesn't take much. So to have a tropical storm, which is what it's supposed to be by the time it hits us now, it's not gonna be a hurricane anymore like it was gonna be. So to have a tropical storm blow over top of us, it's gonna knock out a lot of the power, if not everyone's power in this area. And my guess is, instead of it being a couple feet of water, which is what it was probably going to be before when it came over us, I'm thinking like 2 or 3 inches, which is enough to flood our apartment. So we've started moving things upstairs. Now, it's not gonna be the 2 or 3 feet that we were expecting, so we're not gonna like our whole bottom be underwater like we were kind of thinking. But again, that can still, 2 or 3 inches can ruin a lot. You guys saw back in January on the vlog that we've already dealt with the flood once, but that was man-made. Our pipes burst when it froze. So we're not looking forward to that again, but we've learned our lesson. And this time, even though it's not supposed to be as bad, and we're kind of thinking it's probably not gonna flood us real bad, we're not being dumb about it, and we're moving pretty much everything that we just feel like we can't have get wet upstairs, and then everything else that like we probably don't want wet but isn't probably gonna kill it if it gets wet, we're putting on just top of surfaces and just getting prepared. But perfect timing, not really, hashtag sarcasm, it's this conference this weekend. So luckily it's only a half hour from me. Well, I'm in traffic, about ready to jump in traffic, so it's gonna be about 40 minutes. But it's about half hour. So I'm coming home every night, which gives me the option to just not go back if things get too dicey here, because I'm not gonna leave the family in the middle of a hurricane. So I'm headed up there tonight. It's not really supposed to get like onshore down in North Carolina until like 2 a.m. So tonight's gonna be fine, even though it's supposed to start raining. It's getting a little windy. Wake up in the morning. If things are, I'm guessing things won't be too bad, I'll head back out in the morning. Saturday will be the question mark, whether or not I'll go back Saturday, but we'll figure that one out as it comes. But I'm at 7-Eleven. I need to get a Mountain Dew. I'm here. Let's go get registered.
That were unrealized while they were breathing are buried in that graveyard. And when I read that, it blew my mind. And I'm like, man, I don't want potential to die inside of me. As a pastor, as a leader, I don't want my best potential to die inside of me because I was afraid of my circumstances so that I wouldn't release it. You know what I mean? I want to release that potential. I want to die empty with no more potential inside of me. Now, I don't know about you, but back in the day, and we've all had adults say this, you got a lot of potential. And I used to love that. I used to love it when people would say that to me. You have a lot of potential, Terry. I'm like, thank you. You know, I really love when people would say that. But pretty soon I realized that what people were saying is, you have a lot of not yet. You have a lot of almost. Wow. You have a lot of I see something, but it's not outside yet. And I began to become really discontent with that. I didn't like that. I didn't like that all that potential was sitting inside of me and people recognized that potential, but what they were saying was, it's not on the outside yet. And I got to somewhere along the line not allow my circumstances to dictate how much I use that potential that God gives me. You know, I think so many times as pastors and as leaders, we say, God, give me gifts, give me talents to go change the world. And He's like, what did you do with the last ones I gave you? Did you use those? Did you use what I gave you before? Or is it still on the inside of you? I mean, it doesn't matter how good of a basketball player LeBron James is. If he never picked up a basketball, it didn't matter how much potential he had inside of him. It wouldn't matter. He had the potential to be great, but he didn't take the steps to be great. If Michelangelo, the painter, not the Ninja Turtle, didn't pick up a paintbrush, then we wouldn't have the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. It doesn't matter how great of an artist he would have been, he would have died with that potential inside of him. And I can't help but think of how many leaders and how many people are speaking into the next generation, and it's not words of life, it's words of limitation. Why? Because we have lived our lives somewhere along the lines believing in the limitations that the world gives us. We somewhere along the lines bought the lie of a limitation that we could only jump so high in our life. And so what do? We pass those on naturally to those that we lead. I am guilty of it. I am absolutely guilty of it, and I don't want that to be the story of my life. This message is birthed out of my experiences, not being comfortable and not being okay with letting my context or my budget or my resources determine how much of the potential that I could use, determine how much potential God gave me. I don't want my context to tell me what I can and can't do for God. I want to be able to step out, and I want to be able to let God use me in ways that I've never imagined before. But if all I'm doing is blaming what's in front of my face, then that potential will die inside of me. I want to encourage you tonight. There will always be something in front of you. There will always be a struggle in front of you. There will always be a circumstance in front of you. But God knew that you would be facing that circumstances when He called you into it, so that means He knows the way through it, or else He wouldn't have brought you to it in the first place. Look, if God brings you to it, He'll bring you through it.
Night one is done. Hold on. Night one is done. Super awesome. Message was like, in the beginning, like just a little bit into it, I was like, man, I hope anyone else, I hope they're not just so feeling like they wasted their time because it's like so specific to me. And I talked to the guy afterwards, and he's like God just said, you know, just go up there and start talking. I'll put stuff on your heart. And like I have like 4 pages of notes because it was just like everything he was saying was just like, it was exactly what I need. Some of it was like an answer to things that I prayed on the way here. He even talked about fleas, which I didn't catch at first. And he's talking about fleas and limitations and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, flea market, the whole flea market. I was like, ooh, this is, ooh, and then he is like, this is some of the stuff that late in the Francis in the interview kept like, so you know a flea, you know what a flea do, you know what a flea do. I'm like, why does she keep saying this over and over? And then like it came back to me. I'm like, this is like confirmation, like I'm on the right track with this stuff. So it's really awesome. I think I'm gonna go grab some dessert with some of the other youth pastors, and then I'll head home and we'll do a little bit of a wrap up, and I'll jump into a little bit. I want to talk about yesterday's episode a little bit, how it kind of applies to all this, and limits and limitations and faith and breaking through those limitations and fear and all that good stuff. So let me go grab something. You guys hit pause, you go grab a drink too, and we'll pop back at the apartment and we'll go over some of this.